And since then, it's just been me and you, Raggedy Ann. Just me and you. But you know the years haven't seemed to bother you too much. 'Cause you're a little faded here and there from the wind and the rain. But that heartwarming charm and that spark of love seems stronger now than it ever did. And look at me. I barely made it up the hill today. Look, Raggedy Ann, I can't even rush the dirt from my knees. So don't look for me tomorrow. Oh, I won't make it. I'd like to take you with me, Raggedy Ann, but I know you'd be happier right here, watching over my baby and keeping her warm. Well, I gotta leave you now. I gotta go. And about the only thing that comes to my mind to say to you is, God bless you. And you sure have been quite a doll, Raggedy Ann. Yes, sir. Quite a doll.
My pappy used to tend my hide out behind the barn. He taught me to be dignified out behind the barn. When he took his strap to me and turned me down across his knee, he sure did hurt my dignity out behind the barn. I smoked my first cigarette out behind the barn, and that's one day I won't forget out behind the barn. I got sick, you should have seen how that tobacco turned me green. I almost died from nicotine out behind the barn. I got my education out behind the barn. I ain't a fool in no siree. Passed each examination out behind the barn, but it almost made a wreck out of me. Barn. She wanted me to stay and play out behind the barn. She taught me to kiss and pet. That's a game I can't forget, 'cause we still play that same game yet out behind the barn. I wish that I could go again out behind the barn and do some things that I did then out behind the barn. Now you may think it ain't no fun to be a poor old farmer's son. You just don't know what all I've done out behind the barn. I got my education out behind the barn. I ain't a fool in no siree. Passed each examination out behind the barn, but it almost made a wreck out of me.
Little Jimmy Dickens and Out Behind the Barn, crying away. No, that last song, Raggedy Ann, everyone says such a sad song, and it sounds like Jimmy Dickens. I'm sure that was a sincere breakdown there at the end of the song. It was, you could just tell the emotion was not put on. It was very sincere and truthful. Little Jimmy Dickens, we're remembering here today on Pioneers of Country. It's a live broadcast. We're broadcasting live on Live 365 on the 3rd of January, 2015, and also on the iWeb Radio Network. Contact me, Dave, at pioneersofcountry.com or facebook.com/Pioneers of Country. You can send us something that way, too. Hi to Shar, or Din Din, W-A-D-I-N, who's listening, listener from many years ago. She loves Little Jimmy Dickens' Old Tater, as we all do. And we're remembering him today. In 1950, Dickens formed the Country Boys with musicians Jabbo Arrington, Grady Martin, Bob Moore, and Thumbs Carlisle. It was during this time that he discovered future Country Music Hall of Fame member Marty Robbins at a Phoenix, Arizona television station while he was on tour with the Grand Ole Opry Roadshow. In 1957, Dickens left the Grand Ole Opry to tour with the Philip Moore's Country Music Show. And in 1962, Dickens scored his first top 10 country hit since 1954 with a song called The Violet and the Rose, which we don't have here today, unfortunately. But that's the way that goes. This broadcast today, which is a live broadcast, can be heard again as a podcast later today. It will be put up on our podcast page, pioneersofcountry.com, www.pioneersofcountry.com, or you can download it, or you can stream it as much as you'd like. We've got other tributes up there over the last couple of years. We've got a tribute to George Jones is still up there, a tribute to Stompin' Tom Connors, Ray Price, and many, many others. And certainly 2013 was a very sad year. We lost many country artists that year. And we did a show on New Year's Eve last year, 2013. And that tribute is up there. We played some songs from every artist that we lost in 2013. We called it the Class of 2013. So you can listen to all of them. We only have so much space up there, and we're chock full right now, so every time we add a show, a podcast, we have to take one down. So in other words, for this one that's going up today, one's going to have to come down. I don't know which one it'll be. We'll see the ratings. We'll see how many, because we know how many get a list of how many times the shows have been listened to or downloaded and all that good stuff. You don't want to know that. Pioneers of Country with me, Dave, remembering the man Little Jimmy Dickens, who we lost yesterday, January 2nd, 2015.
Did you ever sleep at the foot of the bed when the weather was a whizzing cold? When the wind was a whistling around the house and the moon was yellow as gold? You give your good warm mattress up to Aunt Lizzie and Uncle Fred. Too many kinfolks on a bad night, so you went to the foot of the bed. I could always wait till the old folks ate and eat the leavings with grace. The teacher could keep me after school, I'd still have a smile on my face. I could wear the big boys' worn-out clothes or let sister have my sled. But I'd always did get my nanny goat to sleep at the foot of the bed. Folks come and the kids brought brand new games. You could see how fat all the old folks was and learn all the babies' names. Had biscuits and custard and chicken pie, we all got Sunday fed. But I know darn well when nighttime come, I was headed for the foot of the bed. They say some folks don't know what it is having company all over the place. To wrestle for cover on a winter night with a Bigfoot sitting in your face, or cold toenails are scratching your back and the footboard scrubbing your head. I'll tell the world you ain't lost a thing, never sleeping at the foot of the bed. In this land of the brave and the free, and in this all-fired battle of life, it's left its mark on me. For I'm always a struggling around at the foot instead of forging ahead. And I don't think it's caused from a doggone thing but sleeping at the foot of the bed.
There he is, sleeping at the foot of the bed. Little Jimmy Dickens on Pioneers of Country. We're remembering Little Jimmy Dickens. Yes, we are. Lad Dunham is a great Little Jimmy Dickens fan. He posted some nice comments on our Facebook page, facebook.com/Pioneers of Country. Lad Dunham has a new album out, Picture in a Frame, and I had planned on previewing part of it today, but unfortunately, Lad, I'm sure you understand we're going to have to hold off on that until the next broadcast, hopefully in 2 weeks, around the 17th. We've just got so much Little Jimmy Dickens tributes here, and we certainly don't want to go overtime. But Lad Dunham's new album, Picture in a Frame, is out. Contact Lad. He's got a Facebook page, too, and a YouTube page, and he can get you a copy of a CD. And it's a great one, and we actually started playing. We've added 2 of the songs, the first 2 songs from the album, from the CD, on our playlist that's playing right now. Well, not when we're not live. It's playing, let's put it that way. In 1964, Dickens became the first country music artist to circle the globe while on tour, and also made numerous TV appearances, including on The Tonight Show with Johnny Carson. In 1965, he released his biggest hit, May the Bird of Paradise Fly Up Your Nose. And I think Johnny Carson used that parts of that saying many, many times. He just switched some of the words around. So we can thank Little Jimmy Dickens for that. It reached number 1 on the country charts, number 15 on the pop charts. Here he is, Little Jimmy Dickens, in his biggest one.
One fine day as I was a-walking down the street, spied a beggar man with rags upon his feet. Took a penny from my pocket, in his tin cup I did drop it, and I heard him say as I made my retreat, may the bird of paradise fly up your nose, may an elephant caress you with his toes, may your wife be flagged with runners in her hose, may the bird of paradise fly up your nose. My laundry man is really on his toes. Found $100 bill among my clothes. When he called me, I came running, gave him back his dime for phoning, and I heard him saying as I turned to go, may the bird of paradise fly up your nose, may an elephant caress you with his toes, may your wife be flagged with runners in her hose, may the bird of paradise fly up your nose. I was way behind one day to catch a train. The taxi driver said, we'll make it just the same. A speed cop made it with us, and as he wrote out the ticket, I stood by politely waiting for my change. May the bird of paradise fly up your nose, may an elephant caress you with his toes, may your wife be plagued with runners in her hose, may the bird of paradise fly up your nose, may the bird of paradise fly up your nose, may an elephant caress you with his toes, may your wife be plagued with runners. When you walk up to a jukebox and you slip a nickel in, you can bet your bottom dollar that the record starts to spin. You'll hear a fiddle and a guitar with a honky-tonkin' sound. It's that hillbilly fever that's spreading all around. Hillbilly fever's going round. Good old mountain music's got me down. It's got me robbing castles, throwing rice and slipping around.
Hillbilly fever's got me down.